Actually, It is the Clayton City Council meeting for Tuesday, May 17th, 2022 at 7 o'clock. We're going to call this meeting to order. Janet, will you please call the roll?
Councilmember Diaz. Present. Councilmember Juan.
Here.
Councilmember Wolf.
I'm here.
Vice Mayor Tillman. Here. Mayor Cloven.
I'm here as well. That's item number 1 is finished. We'll move on to item number 2. Janet, will you roll the protocol video, please?
Tonight's meeting will be conducted both in person and remotely via Zoom. As a courtesy and technology permitting, members of the public may continue to provide live remote oral comment via the Zoom video conferencing platform. However, the City cannot guarantee that the public's access to teleconferencing technology will be uninterrupted, and technical difficulties may occur from time to time. This meeting is also being webcast on the City of Clayton's website. The Mayor will call upon its council, presenters, staff, and other speakers by name and ask that they speak clearly and state their names before giving comments or remarks. The Mayor will call on members of the public that are attending in person first, and then shall call on members of the public that are participating via Zoom. Persons participating via webcast and Zoom with their cameras enabled are reminded that their activities are visible to viewers. Members of the public participating in person wishing to speak on an item may submit a speaker card with the city clerk. Members of the public participating by Zoom wishing to speak should use the raise hand feature or dial *9 and the Mayor will call upon them at the appropriate time. Telephone attendees will be called upon by the last 4 digits of their phone number. It is requested that public speakers state their name, but providing such information is voluntary. Written public comments received by the Clayton City Clerk by 5 p.m. today will be entered into the record but will not be read out loud. If authors of the written correspondence would like to speak, they are free to do so and should raise their hand and the Mayor will call upon them at the appropriate time. The chat feature is not active. In order to get the full Zoom experience, please make sure your application is up to date.
Thanks, Janet. That's much appreciated. Wow. That concludes item number 2. Let's move on to item number 3, Pledge Allegiance. Please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excellent. We'll move on to item number 4, which is the consent calendar. And we have several items on the consent calendar tonight. Are there any items which a council member would like to pull for discussion? Seeing none, we will open the consent calendar to public comment. If there are any items on the consent calendar which the public would like to speak upon, now is your opportunity to do so, and you get the 3 minutes to do so. Seeing none, public comment is now... Oh, pardon me, I forgot to go back to online.
No problem.
We have a full room, so it's great to see that tonight. Janet, do we have any hands raised on Zoom tonight?
Mayor Cloven, I do not have any hands raised on Zoom.
That's awesome. Thank you very much. And with that, we'll move back to council discussion. Is there any discussion on the consent calendar? If not, I will take a motion for approval of the consent calendar.
Move to approve as written.
That's a first.
I'll second.
We have a first from Councilmember Wolf and a second by Vice Mayor Tillman. Janet, will you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Diaz? Yes. Councilmember Juan? Councilmember Wolf?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Tillman?
Yes.
Mayor Cloven?
Yes, and with that, the consent calendar passes 5-0, and we move on to item number 5, which is recognitions and presentations, for which there are none for this evening. And we'll move on to item number 6, which is reports. We'll start off with 6A, the city manager. Raina, the ball's all yours.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. Just one announcement this evening. We have posted on our website that we are accepting applications for planning commissioners. So we encourage anyone who is interested in participating with us to submit their applications prior to June 15th. We have 3 planning commission seats that are coming open. So we encourage everyone to participate or tell your friends to come participate, and interviews for that will be held on June 21st. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Raina. And with that, we'll close 6A and move on to 6B for city council reports. And if you don't mind, can we start off with Council Member 1? Thanks, Councilmember 1. And with that, we'll move on to Councilmember Wolf.
Thank you, Mayor. Aside from the emails and calls, I actually did take a couple of calls with some complaints, which I've passed on to Raina and folks. I met with the CBCA barbecue committee a couple of times. Met with you. I met with our city manager. Also had several meetings with the Pride Parade Committee, various committees there, and the CBCA Advisory Committee. Let's see, what else? Took a call on the Memorial Day festivities. I want people to know that the Memorial Day festivities are not under our control. They're not going to be in Clayton this year because the VFW has decided that they're going to take place at Todos Santos Plaza because it's their 100th anniversary. And I believe I mentioned last time that we are going to have the 9/11 celebration in trade for that. We'll be here in Clayton. So just want to let everybody know that they'll do a small ceremony of wreath laying, I believe, at 8 o'clock in the morning in Clayton. But everything else will take place at Todos Santos Plaza because that's what they've decided to do. And also the July 4th parade is taking place this year in downtown, 10 o'clock on the 4th of July here in Clayton. So in case anybody had any idea that wasn't happening, it is happening. And that is my report, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Wolf. Vice Mayor Tillman, you are next.
Thank you, Mayor. Let's see. I had a couple of meetings with Raina, and we also had 2 TLC meetings. So the Trails and Landscape Committee meeting met on March 9th and the 16th, so both these last 2 Mondays. There were some great discussions regarding how to, in fact, I'm going to go back a little bit and remind everybody that that is now a 9-person committee. So it's almost fully staffed. It can hold up to 11 people. And this is their 3rd meeting of the year, so they had 2 in the last 2 weeks. They have looked at, and Raina, did they approve the 1920 annual report? I know that was something they were working on. So they are...
Not yet.
Not yet, but they were
For
working on
2021.
that. Okay. 2021? No, 1920.
1920 is done.
That's
It's
what
the
I thought.
2021.
Okay, thank you, because I kept getting the wrong info from them, and I wanted to clarify. Thanks. The other things that they were discussing were some of the trails, how to actually develop a plan and prioritize some of the activities that they're doing for maintenance. So when we have more of a report on that, I will come back and give that to all of you guys, but I did want everybody to know that that is a robust committee that is now working to improve our landscape maintenance, and they have a lot of ideas on how to do that. So that it's not just a 4-person or 5-person committee. So if somebody's sick, which a couple people have been, they're still able to continue on, which is good. So if anybody's hearing otherwise, please confirm that there actually is a TLC committee that's meeting this year, and they've met 3 times already. There was also, a a personal one for me, but it does go back to the community, which is, I know all of you guys that are in the room know that me and my husband ran the St. Bonaventure track and field program for the last 8 years. We have retired as of last Saturday, and we're going to pass a baton, pun intended, to other coaches and coordinators that want to take over that program. We did have the diocesan meet on May 7th, and we were able to take 33 of our 73 athletes to the championship meet. So that was a bittersweet moment, but we did have our team party this week, and if anybody in the community would like to help coordinate, step up to coordinate that program, we have a couple of moms that are going to take that over. I'm going to pass a baton to them and actually sit with them and give them all of my binder notes and the tips and tricks to take care of that, but we also need coaches. So if anybody out there has a track and field background, or even if you ran it 30, 40, 50 years ago, in high school, and I say that not jokingly because our athletic director is 86 and he is still out there with his walking poles at every single track meet, making sure that the kids can get to where they get to, so nobody is too old to do this. If you have anybody in your family or friends that you know that would like to come out here to St. Bonaventure to help continue that program, it'd be great to continue that on. And I met with the mayor. What else is there? Fielded phone calls and emails, but that's my report.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Tillman. Councilmember Diaz, your report.
Thank you. A couple of things. First of all, I attended a farewell event for our former chief of police on the 5th, Cinco de Mayo, among other things. On the 6th, met with our usual quarterly meeting with the EBRICS, and we approved the budget for the next quarter, or actually for the next year, and some of the upgrades that we're doing in a number of the communities around there to improve the radio service for first responders. On the 7th, we had a concert. We started off the morning by setting it up. The fundamentals came on at 6 o'clock. We closed it up. It was a great event, collected over or nearly $2,500 for that first concert, which was somewhat lightly attended, and people left a little bit early because the weather turned a little chilly and the wind kicked up. On the 9th, ended the Clayton Barbecue Committee meeting. Then on the 11th, the Morgan Territory Community Association, we relate to them only because of the fact that they are very much involved now in many of the activities in downtown Clayton, particularly for the Community and Business Association and the Art and Wine. But they had their regular monthly meeting and had two presentations. I guess PG&E is going to start doing some upgrades of the service out on Morgan Territory. They also had a presentation from the Sheriff's Office on some potential upgrades to improving security for the community out there and the responses as well. Sunday the 15th was the commemoration of the Peace Officers Memorial Day, another important event in our community. Finally, on yesterday and today, had meetings both with Interim Police Chief Joe Crines and our city manager. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Diaz.
May I make one request before I leave here? I have received all of the participants' meetings on Zoom for the June meetings. Have not received the one for tonight's meeting. Is there a possibility that somebody in the back room or technically can shoot it to me? Then, if you can't, that's fine. Maybe we can get Paul to do that. But I didn't get the one for tonight, but I got the one for June 15th and June 21st or 23rd, so not tonight's. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Diaz. I've had a busy couple weeks. On May 5th, Holly, Vice Mayor Tillman, and I got a chance to sit down personally in the office of Chief Warren on her last day in street clothes and had an incredibly candid conversation with her about her tenure in Clayton. Really was great to hear her speak about her challenges as police chief and the reasons why she has left our fair city. for her to say some things along the lines about the challenge of keeping good morale based on the significantly lower wages we pay our Clayton and the turnover that happens. These are all great things to know. And especially after our last meeting where we heard from the poll how much we love our police, but to hear how challenged our police staff is based on the conditions we give them, it was hard to hear, but it was also good information and helped us with the future. That same night, I went to the mayor's conference, and we had a presentation from the San Francisco Bay Restoration Authority about some of the restoration efforts in the wetlands. Interesting, but not necessarily pertinent to Clayton unless you're an environmental person like myself. But I appreciated that. On May 6th, actually, I want to thank Councilmember Diaz for reaching out to me for the first time in 18 months as a member of the council, and we had a conversation. That's the way conversations should be, one-on-one like that. On May 7th, I really enjoyed the efforts of the Mount Diablo Educational Foundation and their bocce tournament in downtown. It was pretty freaking amazing, pardon me, I can say that we have so many people who are involved in our town in doing such good work. And they raised a lot of money, and it was a fun experience to have so many Claytonians down there. And I go boom right from that right into the concerts in the park and help raise the jug around, asking for donations, and being with you in the concerts in the park. On May 12th, we had TransPAC, and again, that's a really important group that we're involved with regard to transportation concerns in Central Costa County. And we had some issues about the annual budgets, reviewing the director, and some awards for $1.2 million in elderly and disabled transport. Just a reminder that Concerts in the Park is this, Councilman Diaz says, Council in the Park are this coming Saturday with night moves. I dig Creedence Clearwater Revivers. It's going to be a lot of fun. And thank you for the reminder of the Veterans of Foreign Wars and their memorial service. I will be there to lay the wreath at 8 o'clock in the morning on Memorial Day, and then joining the celebration afterwards at Todos Santos. And lastly, Clayton, I want to thank you. I want to thank you, the residents of Clayton, who sought me out, whether it be on the bocce courts or the concerts in the park or in our local restaurants. I've had some great conversations with a lot of you on some really difficult conversations about our budget, about our housing issues, and yes, about the divide that exists in Clayton. And as your mayor for the last 6 months, I have tried to change the decorum in this council chamber. I've told everybody who's spoken at the mic to do so with kindness and respect and integrity. It doesn't come with a surprise that some of that is landing on deaf ears, because I had a recent conversation that was both threatening and intimidating and clearly didn't hear what I've been preaching here in our chamber. My resolve is steeled. It's not about being here in the chamber anymore. It's about taking kindness, respect to our whole city. And it's not a foreign concept. Because back in 2010, Mayor Hank Stratton got together with the CBCA, the City Council, and school administrators, and he created the Do the Right Thing program. And in that program, we teach our elementary school and our middle school kids the qualities of respect and kindness and responsibility, integrity, inclusion, courage. I love this. I love this because that's who I am and what I bring to our city as a city council member and as you're representing you as a mayor. We're about ready to get into an election season. And you're going to see lawn signs up because there's going to be a couple seats that are available coming up in November. And when I ran for council in 2020, I remember when I took out papers, there was a document that I signed that said I would immediately repudiate any campaign tactic that was contrary to what I believe it was against my opponent. And I ran a clean, positive campaign based on my virtues and my values and my vision of Clayton. I never once spoke a negative word about my opponents. Clayton, we're at a place right now where we get a chance to make a difference. And I'm asking you to join me on a quest to bring all the principles of our do the right thing to our daily dialogue with each other. And expect that in our campaign this season. Expect that of our officials who want to be our city council members. We should expect them to do the right thing because that's the right thing to do, and that's what we teach our children. I am honored to serve you as your council member and mayor this year, and I will continue to do so with all the principles of our Do the Right Thing campaign. Thank you. That's the end of my report. And with that, item number 6 is closed. And we get to move to item number 7, which is public comment, which again, I will say every meeting is an opportunity for you to address the city council in any way you desire, but do it with kindness and respect and address the city council as a whole, not as any one individual, because we all are doing what we can to serve our city. And with that, Janet, are there any hands?
Mayor Cloven, I do not have any hands raised on Zoom.
Excellent. Are there any here in the public that would like to speak tonight and have your 3 minutes? With that, Council, item number 7, public comment is closed. And we'll move on to item number 8, which is public hearings, for which there are none. We'll move on to item number 9, which is action items. And there is one for consideration. It's action number 9A, which is an annual consideration of canceling any regular city council meetings during the summer of 2022. And we'll turn that over to you, Raina.
Thank you, Mayor. And just briefly, Council, every year we typically ask if there are going to be dates during the summer months where perhaps we might not have a quorum, or often the dates after either July 4th or Labor Day are difficult days for council meetings. So looking at the schedule for what we have in front of us, both July 5th and September 6th, which are the days after those two holidays, we do not immediately have any pressing items on those agendas, and so it would be our recommendation that we consider canceling those two meetings, but certainly hold the rest of the summer meetings, as we will have plenty to do, despite the fact that we might give ourselves a couple of extra weeks of break time.
Thank you, Raina. Let's bring it back to the City Council for any questions.
For the purposes of the audience, with the flurry of activity that we have coming up with the budget season, and then I know that we'll be working on our housing element, et cetera, and the ARPA funds. Do you want to talk a little bit about what might hit during that time frame?
I would be happy to. Thank you. Mm-hmm. So we do have a flurry of meetings between now and June 23rd. So the break would be welcome, I think, after that. We do have a budget and audit committee meeting at 3 p.m. on Monday, the 23rd of May, which will be our initial discussion with Vice Mayor Tillman and Councilmember Wan on the budget. And then Tuesday, May 31st, we will have a special city council meeting, which in the evening, which will be primarily devoted to a look at the first draft of our housing element that will also be going to our Planning Commission on May 24th. Then we have our regular council meeting on Tuesday, June 7th, which will be our major budget hearing for the entire budget for the full council. Then we have our regular meeting on June 21st, which will typically be our adoption meeting for our annual budget. And then June 23rd, so Thursday of that same week, we will have the housing element returned to council for one final review before we submit an initial draft to the Housing and Community Development Department at the state for their first review. We are also holding the evening of June 16th as one potential additional meeting if it is needed on the budget, since we know that we'll have a lot of discussion to be had on the budget, and want to make sure that between June 7th and June 21st, if we do need an additional date, that we have that available to us. So that is the schedule of greatest hits that we have coming for the next 5 or 6 weeks on all of those items. And look forward to everybody's participation in that, because it's a lot of very important information for all of us as we go forward.
And then when will we discuss the second tranche of the ARPA funds?
So there'll be some discussion of that with the budget process.
Okay.
We will get the second tranche in July, so we don't necessarily need to make all of our decisions with the budget. We will likely come back later in the summer then to have additional conversations about that.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions from the council? And with that, I'll open. Go ahead. Mr. Hand, sorry, Councilman Diaz.
Thank you for looking this way. So the question is, are we going with a recommendation for those 2 meetings? Is that where we are? The meeting after the 4th of July and the meeting after the holiday of in September. Is that where we're headed?
That is the recommendation. If there are questions, then public comment, then debate.
As you and I have discussed, we always seem to be canceling those on a regular basis every year. And I'm just throwing this out. I would appreciate personally if we could cancel the second meeting of one of those other days, other months rather. Something like the second meeting, not the first, but the second meeting. That's all I request. Thank you.
Can I add one thing? I will be absent for August 2nd. So whether there's a need for a meeting that day, I will not be available. And July 5th for me is questionable. So that's just a sharing of schedules.
Thank you, Councilmember One. Any other comments from or questions from council? If not, we'll open it up to public comment. Janet, do you have any hands out there in virtual land?
Mayor Cloven, I do not have any hands raised on this item.
All right, and seeing no hands here in public, we will close public comment on this item 9A and bring it back to council for discussion.
Go ahead.
Along the same lines as Councilmember Juan, August 16th, I will not be in town. But if we still have the Zoom option, I'm willing to join via Zoom. We're not going to have that? Are you saying no?
The Zoom option is really for health and safety related issues to COVID.
Okay, got it.
Unless we decide to all go back virtually.
Got it. Okay. Then I will not be in town on August 16th. I will not be in town on the 16th, so I'm just putting that out there. But as long as you guys have a quorum, then you guys can continue on without me. But I will be moving my firstborn into college, so not negotiable to miss it.
So it sounds like we don't have a challenge with the days after the 4th of July and the days after Labor Day. Is the sense where that's fine where we are right now? Is there another day? I think there was somebody was requesting. It was in August as well, or
the 2nd and the 16th were. Councilmember Juan was the 2nd, and Vice Mayor Tillman was the 16th.
I'll just ask: do we see challenges in August, or we're looking at a full council meetings at that time?
It's hard to say, really, at this point. There's always things that we need to bring. We will have the additional conversation about the ARPA funds, as well as other regular items. I would not want to cancel 2 meetings in a row, whether it's the first or second meeting of the month. However you combine them, that would likely put us behind in terms of what we need to do. So we can certainly adjust the dates. If the September 6th date is better than the August, is a better date for everybody to attend than the August 16th, then we could look at canceling one in August. That would also be a second meeting of the month, which, might address the comment made by Councilmember Diaz, and then hold the meeting for September 6th. So that's an option as well, if that would be a little bit more of a compromise, sort of wiggle room that would help folks.
I'm inclined to definitely recommend the day after 4th of July and that Thanksgiving too, but 4th of July and Labor Day. At this point, we're only seeing Councilmember Juan gone on the 2nd, and you're being gone on the 2nd, Vice Mayor Tillman.
16th.
The 16th. So that would give us quorum if we needed to do business during those months, during those meetings. So I'm inclined to go ahead and do those. And if something happens where one of those meetings becomes less necessary than others, we can make a judgment call before then and cancel that meeting in advance. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, and really the purpose of bringing it so early at this point is to allow for a little bit of additional planning time on everybody's part. So, we can certainly adjust as the time gets closer if we either need to call a special meeting if we have somehow canceled when we need to have one, or to cancel one closer to the time when it would be scheduled if we did not need to have one.
Makes sense.
So do these comments give you enough direction, or do you need something any more official than that?
I would like a motion and a second and some voting, and that's what I would like. And Mala would like that as well.
You could tell Mala would like that. All right, I would entertain a motion accordingly.
I'll make a motion to approve canceling the July 5th and September 6th meetings at this time.
Is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Jenna, we have a first and a second. Could you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Diaz?
Yes.
Councilmember Juan?
Aye.
Councilmember Wolf?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Tillman?
Aye.
Mayor Cloven?
Aye. And with that, it passes unanimously. And item number 9A is closed. We'll move to closed session, which is item number 10, for which there's none. Then move on to item number 11, which is council items for future meetings. Are there any that?
Yes,
Councilmember Diaz, please.
Yeah, I have one. The first concert of the season brought to light a potential issue, and I've discussed this with the city manager on the parking across or at the other side of the Grove Park, right adjacent but next to in front of the bistro. There is only one handicap spot there, and what I'd like to have a meeting in the future to discuss is possibly making a second one available. We always seem to have issues at the Art and Wine and all of our festivals, and that's why we dedicate the entire Endeavor Hall parking to handicap parking. And it's a management issue because by the time 1 o'clock rolls around on those days, it's full of handicapped cars. But at our concerts, we have also an issue, and there are relatively few spots for other than the one there and across the street at the post office for handicap. And I'd like to discuss at a future time adding an additional handicap spot. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Diaz. Any other items for future consideration? And with that, item number 11 is closed, and we're going to move to adjournment of this meeting until May 31st. Please don't leave because we got to go to the next item. But we are now closing this meeting at 7:34. And we're going to immediately move into the Clayton Financing Authority meeting for a quick meeting, which I will call to order right now at 7:34. Janet, will you call the roll, please?
Board Member Diaz?
Yes.
Board Member Juan?
Here.
Board Member Wolf?
Here.
Vice Chair Tillman?
Here.
Chair Cloven?
I'm here as well. We'll move to item number 2 for closed session, for which there is none, and then move on to item number 3, the consent calendar. Are there any items which a council member or board member would like to have pulled for discussion? Seeing no items for discussion, we'll open up for public comment. Are there any hands for public comment in virtual land?
Mayor Cloven, I do not, I'm sorry, Chair, President Cloven, I do not have any hands raised on this item.
Excellent. Thank you, Janet. And I seeing no hands in this room. With that, item number 3, the consent calendar is, bringing back discussion. Or is there any discussion? Pardon me. Is there any discussion amongst board members? Seeing no discussion, that item number 3 is closed. No, we got to do a roll call on this one, please. Call the
But a
roll.
motion and a second.
Yeah,
and then
I'm
a
looking
vote.
forward to getting out of here. Here we go. Sorry about that. Can we have a motion to for the consent calendar, please? To approve the consent calendar.
Move approval, Tillman.
Thank you.
Second.
Got a first by Vice Mayor Tillman, a second by Councilmember Juan. Janet, will you call the roll, please?
Board Member Diaz?
Yes.
Board Member Juan? Board Member Wolf?
Yes.
Vice President Tillman?
Yes.
And President Cloven?
She got me all thrown off with the
I'm
titles.
sorry.
Yes. The consent calendar is passed unanimously. We move to item number 4, which is public comments on non-agenda items. If there are any items or any comment from the public on they would like to speak, you have 3 minutes. Janet, are there any hands raised in the audience?
President Cloven, I have no hands raised on this item.
And seeing none in the room, public comment item number 4 is closed. We'll move to action items number 5, for which there is none. Let's move to item number 6, which is board items, which are requests for future directions and future meetings. Are there any future requests? Seeing none, that item is closed. And we get to item number 7, which is adjournment of the Clayton Financing Committee until next meeting when it is scheduled when necessary. And with that, the meeting is closed at 7:37. Thank you all.